Top of the morning, evening, night, or day, ladies and gentlemen. This is me here today on behalf of Well Prepared Men. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about another awesome piece in my vintage bike collection. Actually, over the course of my next 3 videos, we're going to be talking about Portuguese bicycles in specific. I got 3 in my collection, so I'm going to try and make these videos all in order so it's easier for you to basically just follow along with the topics that are being discussed here on camera. Anyway, the bicycle that we're talking about today is a Yeye. That is the brand. It was made in Portugal. This specific model that we're discussing today was made in the 1960s, and it's a beautiful addition to my collection. It's actually already waiting for us out there, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. And here we have it, ladies and gentlemen, a very fine specimen of how beautiful Portuguese bikes used to be during the 1960s. This is one of the older models that they used to do, but essentially these bikes were originally from England. Not the brand itself, but the inspiration of this bike model. Now there are brands like Philips and Raleigh which were making this style of bike way before Yeye even came around, but those bikes took their time to spread themselves throughout Europe. So essentially Portugal only had the inspiration to make these bikes in the end of the 50s, beginning of the 60s, and this particular model that we have here is from the 1960s. I'm gonna give you guys some close-ups because this bike is, whoa, this bike is beautiful, man. So I'm gonna give you guys the time, attention and detail that this bike deserves in order to be fully admired properly. So this is the front of the bike. We've got a headlight that's been worn out by age, and it's powered by a dynamo that basically touches the wheel, and as the wheel spins it powers the lights. So essentially that's how we have power in this bicycle over here. Now it's not connected because I haven't found the time on the wheel to do this very simple job. But essentially, in terms of parts, they're all here, and all I need to do is connect a wire. Anyway, we got 28-inch wheels on this bike, and the brakes are really cool. They're lever brakes, which they're not the most efficient, but they did the job back then. And essentially, they touch the rim like this, and they brake the wheel. Most bicycles these days have their brakes around the side, or they have disc brakes. But back in the day, this is how people used to roll. Just check how sturdy this is. Like, this is old school steel, man. This is a heavy ass bike. And we've got the extension here for the front brake. We got this extension here which goes to the back brake. And it's a really cool system. Very heavy if you're thinking about cycling this on a daily basis. Just the brake system itself is more heavy than bikes I've seen, probably. Anyway, this is a really cool brake system, and I just wanted you guys to know this exists because it's so cool, man. Just knowing how this works took some time for me to figure it out, but once I did, I just really admired whoever came up with this because it's ingenious. Anyway, this bike has got a beautiful paint job, and I'm just gonna show you the front wheel here because just the front wheel has got so much detail. Look at this. You got a stripe here, and then it's fully painted here in the front so people can see you better. It's just really cool details that you don't see anymore. Here on the side we got some more decals which were particular to these bikes, and here we have the bike's name. Like I said before, this bike is a Yeye. And what else have we got? Here we used to have some beautiful musical notes. Mine at the moment has only got one musical note, but when this bike was brand new, there was a row of notes extending all the way probably to there, but I guess they've all been played. The rest is all worn out with time. And here in the center we got some really cool stickers that follow the bike from top to bottom, and it just makes it look really classy. The seat is really peculiar. I really dig this. It's not the most comfortable seat, but when it comes to design, it's just beautiful to look at. We've got a leather seat here on the top, and we got this spring here on the front that's meant to add comfort, but really doesn't. And then we got these two springs here in the back, and they actually make the bike more comfortable than not having anything, because it allows the seat to basically do this while you're riding, and it allows for some of the impacts to be diluted by the time they get to you, which is nice. So here we've got a presence light, which is not connected, but it's here. Once that touches the wheel, you've got a front light and a back light, and I really like how it looks. It looks really old school, like something out of a hot rod or something. The frame is very beautiful. It's a chrome frame, and you can actually open it to put your things in there, and then add some pressure over here on the top so they don't fall. We have the same type of painting that we had on the front wheel. We have that pinstripe, but now it's just like a thin stripe rather than a fat stripe, which I think these details make the overall vibe of the bike really freaking cool. Now originally this bike did not come with a stand. I think when you are riding your bicycle and you pull over, it's nice to be able to leave the bike standing on its own rather than have to lean it against somewhere, especially with something like this that you don't want to ruin. So I just ended up putting a stand here on the back, and it's really nice. Basically it's got a lock which doesn't allow the bike to tip over, and you just unlock it and go whenever you want to go, and when you want to stop you just kick it down and lock it, and the bike will stand safely, which is really nice for a bike like this. It's got a toolbox here in the back, which is a really nice touch. It gives the bike some personality. As you can see over here, the bike is a single speed, so you either have the strength to power this horse or you're screwed. On this side we have a chain guard so we don't get our pants dirty. In the back here we have a really cool light, which it's a little bit worn out by age. And if you look at the overall vibe of the bike, I just think it looks really stylish. Anyway guys, that pretty much brings us to the very end. We're gonna head on over back to the studio and put this bad boy back in the garage. And that, ladies and gentlemen, pretty much brings us to the very end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed spending a little bit of time here with me today, and I hope that you learned something new. Without any delays, I'm gonna love you and leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. This is your boy logging out. Peace!